Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we are going to be presenting our second winter forecast for the winter of 2020 to 2021. Now, before I get started with this very exciting video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, I would also ask that you check out our Patreon page where you can support the channel in the description down below and the pinned comment down below. You can also find our very exciting Discord and Facebook group in the same locations. Alright, now for today's comment of the day, I want to know, how do you hope this winter goes for your region? Let me know in the comments down below and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Now, what we're taking a look at here is our overall forecast, and right now it has question marks, but to see what's underneath the question marks, stay tuned to the end of the video where we're going to reveal this very exciting map of what I think is going to happen for all of these separate regions. Now, let's get started with our precipitation forecast, and this one has changed quite a bit. Now, we originally had this one going all the way into the southeast. We have kind of cut that off, actually, in the state of Texas, where we have below average precipitation, mostly just for the southwestern United States at this point. This could change a lot, obviously, but for now, this is kind of the thinking. And then we even have a moderately below average area of precipitation there for California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. And that's just an area where we're even more confident in having below average precipitation. Alright, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at the areas that could have some above average precipitation and therefore probably above average snowfall as well. Then we're going to get into the exciting temperature forecast, snowfall forecast, and overall forecast. Now, briefly, I wanted to let you guys know, I almost forgot to say this. If you comment your location down below, I will be giving an exclusive written forecast to as many of those comments as I can. So right now, go ahead and comment your location down below. There's nothing to lose. I might be commenting below it. All right, now here we are taking a look at the above average precipitation region. And this one hasn't really changed very much either. You can see that pretty much all of the northern half of the United States, especially there in the eastern United States where it kind of dips down further south, we are expecting some above average precipitation. We're expecting a very active track there into the Pacific Northwestern United States, down through the Rockies where I'm expecting a very big and active winter, down through into the plains, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley and Great Lakes, and even the Northeastern United States. All of these areas I'm expecting to have quite a bit of snowfall this year, even comparatively to normal. Here's a moderately above average precipitation region. This one hasn't changed at all. Actually, this one is exactly where it was last time. So this is one of those things that just has completely gone unchanged because I feel no need to update it. The Pacific Northwest and through the Rockies, I'm expecting moderately above average precipitation and a big snowy winter for you guys there, especially in the mountainous regions where you usually see a lot of snowfall, obviously. This one has changed quite a bit, and we're expecting the upper Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes to see above average precipitation. That was there last time, but I have extended this into northern New England as well. We're just expecting a little bit of a difference in the jet stream that might bring this storm track into portions of New England there, and that's kind of just something that I needed to update here. So that's one of those things that has for sure changed. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on, take a look at that temperature forecast, see where we expect some below average temperatures. We have had this one change quite a bit. And then again, we're going to get into that snowfall forecast and that exciting overall forecast. All right, now here we are taking a look at the below average temperature region. And as you can see, we are expecting a little bit of the Pacific Northwest to see some slightly below average temperatures there. And you might be wondering why that is. That's kind of an extension there. That wasn't there last time, I don't believe. I think I added that in. And the reason is if it's going to be more rainy, more stormy, and more cloudy, in general, that usually leads to below average precipitation than if it was sunny. Because obviously sunny days are usually a little bit warmer than cloudy days. So just that's enough to actually make your temperatures go below average. So that's just a little detail there that I wanted to kind of include. You can see the Rockies, we're expecting some below average temperatures. And then everywhere eastward of there in the northern United States, the northern half, I would say, I am expecting some below average temperatures. And again, I think the Rockies are just going to have an absolute just a monster of a winter. I think there's going to be a lot of good skiing this year for the Rockies. Lots of snow expected this year. Obviously, you don't need the temperature to be very far below normal, but the above average precipitation is what's really going to do it for you guys. So I am expecting a very large winter for you guys. Now, here is our moderately below average temperature region. As you can see from the Rockies eastward, in through the Great Plains, the upper Midwest, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, and the interior northeastern United States. We're all expecting some moderately below average temperatures. So as you can see, it's going to be a little bit further west. It's going to be mostly for the central United States, actually, is where we're expecting the most below average temperatures. You might be wondering, how do I know this? Why is this? Well, it has a lot to do with the Pacific Ocean. We have an anomaly out there called our PDO, and typically you want that to be along the very, very west coast of the United States, but it's actually a little bit further west than that. And what that's going to lead to is the colder air being a little bit further west than the eastern United States. This really leads to more of a central United States trough most of the time, and that's definitely what I'm expecting at this point. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, show you guys where we have a third layer of below average temperatures. Then we're going to briefly get into the above average temperature regions, then the snowfall anomalies, and then the exciting overall forecast. All right, now here is that far below average temperature region. And as you can see, for Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota, we are expecting far below average temperatures. And this is very typical in a La Nina winter and also in a neutral winter. Now, here's the thing. That La Nina has been struggling since I made my last winter forecast. So what I've done is I've actually leaned more towards a neutral ENSO winter with this forecast. And most of the changes are because of that. That's kind of the big changes. If we look more like a La Nina is developing further in a few weeks from now, I will update this and I will change it accordingly, but for now I can only go with the current changes we're dealing with. So I'm going to be updating this through into November, where we will have our official winter forecast, and that'll be the final update, and that's going to be the most accurate one, hopefully. Obviously that's what it would make the most sense. All right, now let's go ahead and move on and take a look at our above average temperature region. And I don't think this one's changed very much whatsoever. I think maybe we've extended it a little further north there on the western edge, but as you can see, we're expecting some slightly above average temperatures, basically from Oregon, California, Nevada, to the southern four corner states, through into the south central United States, the deep south, and the extreme southeastern United States. And this is, again, one of those things that I guess it's been an anomaly lately. We've seen that southeast ridge a little bit, so I'm expecting that to potentially impact this winter, where we're going to see some above average temperatures try to even move up further up the coast at times. That's why we're only in the slightly below average temperatures there along the mid-Atlantic coast there, because at times it's probably going to be above normal temperatures. But I think we're going to have some pretty brutal Arctic blasts at times as well. It's going to kind of balance that back towards the below average temperature side of things, but really it should be warm at times. It's going to flip-flop at times. Now here's our moderately above average temperature region. As you can see, California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. I'm expecting some pretty warm temperatures there pretty consistently, and that's why you're in the above average temperature region. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on, take a look at the exciting snowfall anomaly map and our exciting overall forecast. All right, now here we are taking a look at our above average snowfall region, and this should be pretty obvious. This entire area had below average temperatures expected and above average precipitation expected. That's a recipe for a lot of snow. So most of the northern United States, I think, is going to see an above average amount of snow than what they're typically used to. Let's go ahead and take a look at our moderately above average snowfall regions, and as you can see, they pretty much follow suit with our moderately above average precipitation regions. Especially that western one, where you can see anywhere that usually sees snow for the Pacific Northwest and through the Rockies, we're expecting moderately above average snowfall. So I would say probably 150% of your typical snowfall there, probably 125% of your typical snowfall there in the lighter blue shades. As you can see, we have another darker blue shade there for the Great Lakes, the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the New England states. That's a new addition there for the New England states. I think that we could get some Miller B nor'easters this year getting active with that Clipper track. So I think that there is the potential for a lot more snowfall than what you're typically used to, and especially the last couple of winters. And then briefly, here's our below average snowfall region. Basically, all of the areas that had below average precipitation and or above average temperatures. These areas do not expect a lot of snowfall outside of maybe areas there in California. So really, this isn't too much of a difference than what you're typically used to anyway, but California, you're going to see significantly less snow than what you're typically used to because we're not going to have that active southern track there heading straight for California. That's typically expected only in El Niños. Now let's get into that exciting overall forecast, and there's a lot to talk about. I've added a lot to this, I've switched a lot of this, I've changed the colors on a lot of this. I think it's more improved, I think it's more beautiful overall. And that makes a lot of sense because it's our overall forecast. All right, now let's start with the Pacific Northwest, where we have a stormy conditions expected there for a lot of those mint blue areas, mint green areas. To the south, we're expecting warmer than normal conditions for our orange region. For that tan kind of pink region, we're expecting warm and dry. So basically the warmer than normal and more dry. We have mountain snow expected for the white region. A lot of mountain snow expected because, again, we might see 150% of the typical snowfall there. And to the east of the Rockies there, we see snowy and cold. You're going to get a lot of cold conditions and snowy conditions there for a lot of the plains just to the east of the Rocky Mountains. To the south of there, warm and dry for Texas, New Mexico, and for portions of Oklahoma. We see to the north of all of these regions, polar vortex in this pink region. I think the polar vortex could become very active. And typically what we're looking for is a negative AO. That's what shoves the polar vortex further south. I think we could see a lot of that this winter, especially later on. I will be making a winter month-by-month forecast coming up soon. That was a very big hit last year, so I'm going to be making that very soon. So be on the lookout for that, where we're going to take a look at December, January, February individually. That could be very crucial in the forecast. We're expecting clippers for this little pink-purple region. Well, it's definitely purple. I don't know why I said pink. Up there for North Dakota and Minnesota. Portions of Montana and South Dakota as well. Definitely clippers could be a potential impact this year. To the south of there, Arctic blasts. So not quite like polar vortex conditions, but just a step below it. Obviously, the further south you are, the less cold it's going to be on average. We have active lakes expected there in those white regions surrounding the lakes. To the south of there, we have our winter battle zone, and this creates a lot of confusion every year. Basically, what this means is your conditions are going to be rainy at times, warm at times, cold at times, icy at times, snowy at times. It's going to be sloppy. The winter battle zone is basically where it's the warm and cold battling in there. It doesn't mean that there's going to be like giant amounts of snow. Some people think it means like extreme winter. Not necessarily. It kind of means the opposite, actually. Pretty mixed winter there. To the south of there, still stormy, even though you guys are expecting only average precipitation. I wanted to put this here because this is an area that is still going to be stormy. Might still see snow for some of those northern areas like Arkansas, portions of Oklahoma, northern Georgia, northern Alabama, Mississippi. It's not unheard of, so you guys might still see some snowfall regardless. Let's look up for the northeastern United States. As you can see, for the white region, there for the mid-Atlantic, some of the southeast mountainous regions there, like the Appalachian Mountains, and even some of southern New England, we are expecting some big snowstorms, which is an improvement from last winter. So regardless of what happens, that's an upgrade because we did not see some big snowstorms. I don't think we saw any big snowstorms for these regions last winter, so anything would probably be an improvement from last winter. And then last but not least, the red region here, which has been extended, our worst of winter. This is where we're expecting the most active and biggest snowstorms. I might be chasing some of these snowstorms this year, hopefully. I'm very excited. Kentucky, Indiana, Michigan, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and northern Massachusetts. That you can go ahead and throw all of Massachusetts in there, even Boston, are in the worst of winter. I'm expecting a very active storm track. That New England one's going to be kind of a wild card. If we see the Miller B storm track, then yeah, we will see the worst of winter there. If we do not see that Miller B storm track, you can go ahead and retract that away from those regions. So it's kind of a wild card. It's kind of a bold call, but I think you guys could be involved with the worst of winter. Now for today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, do you think our current hurricane will become a category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What category? And Cloudwatcher said it will probably remain a category 1 hurricane because of all the land it'll impact, and that looks to be the case. I don't think it's going to reach category 2, so I think that was a good call by Cloudwatchers over 15 hours ago. Great call. Now for our patron highlight of the day, we've added 3 new patrons here, so I am very thankful. We are going to be adding many more names to this hopefully in the future. I think it's going to be very fun and very funny once I run out of room just trying to fit all of your names in here, but it's been very fun and I'm glad I added this feature for the patrons. I think it's really cool. Again, you can become a patron by checking out the link in the description or the comment down below. It helps support the channel and you get awesome exclusive content. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.